Hello friends, I am Uniyal, Head Department of Psychology. In this particular video, let us have an overview of the syllabus for the core paper Counseling Process and Skills. As you all are aware, we will be discussing the syllabus prescribed by Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune, formerly University of Pune. The syllabus is for MA Part 2, that is Semester 3 and 4. This particular course is under the credit and semester system. At the outset, let me tell you the structure for the Semester 3 and Semester 4. Now, as we all know that in each semester we have 4 papers. The first paper is the core paper. Then we have 3 papers which are related to our specialization. As you can see in this particular chart, we have semester 3 and semester 4, and we have 2 different specializations, clinical psychology and industrial psychology. We would be discussing this syllabus in detail in the further part of this particular video. Now, before we begin with the discussion on the syllabus, let us know what are the objectives of this paper. At the conclusion of this course, the students will be able to understand the nature of the counseling process, know the groundwork for understanding the use of basic specialized counseling skills, and engage with different models of counseling skills in India. So basically, the learning outcome of this particular paper is to understand the nature of the counseling process, to know few basics of counseling skills, and also to know the condition of counseling in India. As discussed earlier, similar to semester 1 and semester 2, we have 4 papers in semester 3 as well, and the division of the papers is given here. So in each semester we have 4 papers, wherein one paper is the core subject. As we can see here, there are 2 different specializations, that is clinical psychology and industrial psychology. We will be discussing them one by one. So initially, let us have a look at clinical psychology. So by core paper, what we can see here, core subject counseling process and skills. I mean, this paper is compulsory for all the students irrespective of your specialization. So the paper counseling process and skills needs to be studied by all the students of MA Part 2 Semester 3. Now after this, there are 3 different papers, out of which 2 papers are theoretical papers. So for clinical psychology, we have psychopathology 1 and psychodiagnostics. Now psychopathology deals majorly with the different disorders. Part of it most of you must have studied in your SYBA abnormal psychology. The psychodiagnostics is a new paper in this semester, wherein we are going to study some of the therapies which are related to psychodiagnostics. The 4th paper, that is project, and as we can see it is written clinical base. That means this paper is a practical paper. For this paper, students will have to take up a small project wherein the sample size has to be a minimum of 30 for each group. The data has to be collected and the topic for the project has to be pertaining to the particular specialization. For example, if the student has a specialization in clinical psychology, then the topic of the project has to be related with clinical psychology. He could take up topics like stress, anxiety, depression, could study frustration or personality factors. All this has to be in the clinical setting. Now for students of industrial psychology, again the core subject, as I have told you earlier, it is common for everyone, that is counseling process and skills. After that there are 3 different papers. Again 2 papers are theoretical and the last one is project, that is a practical paper. So here the theoretical papers are personal psychology, which deals about the psychological principles applied in industrial setting, especially in the personnel department. Then we have another paper that is on organizational behavior, and the third paper that is project. Again here the project has to be based on industrial setting. So if for those students who have got industrial psychology as their special subject, the project that they would be selecting has to be related to the industrial topic, or else the topic can be related to any topic in psychology, but then the subject must be from the industrial background. For semester 4, once again we have the similar pattern. Again we have 4 papers in this semester as well, with 2 different specializations. The core subject here is areas of counseling, which is common for all the students from both the specializations. Then we have 3 different papers which are based on your specializations. For clinical psychology we have psychopathology part 2, then we have psychotherapies, and finally we have practicum, which has to be again clinical based, and it is a practical paper. For industrial psychology we have the core paper as areas of counseling. Then we have theoretical paper which is on human resource management. The next theoretical paper is organizational development, and lastly we have practicum, which has to be based on industrial specialization. We would be discussing these syllabus in detail later. Right now let us have a look at the core paper, which is counseling, process and skills. The first unit here is based on counseling, nature and goals. This is basically an introductory chapter that will deal about the basic nature of counseling. So here our 1.1 is related to defining counseling, stages of counseling process, role of counselors. So we would be studying the basic process of counseling, the various definitions of counseling, and what is the role of the counselor. Then we have next point 1.2, approaches to counseling and helping, the helping relationship, the helping process. Many a times the common man is under the misconception that anybody and everybody can do counseling, and most of the times we counsel people. But when we have a scientific approach, when we would be studying counseling from a more scientific perspective, we would study the different approaches to counseling here and what exactly is the helping relationship and also the helping process in detail. The next point here is on development of counselor-counselee relationship, counseling goal setting process, and lastly we will study the counseling in India. In the second unit we would be studying the basic counseling skills. In that the first point is related to building relationship, core conditions, in-depth exploration. The second point is nature and importance, generic skills of counseling, micro and macro skills of counseling. The third point is based on inside and outside skills of counseling, self-monitoring skills as a counselor, and lastly the indigenous model of counseling. So basically this whole chapter revolves around the counseling skills. Then in the unit 3 we would study about the specific counseling skills. In that the first point is related to paraphrasing and reflecting feelings, asking questions, self-disclosing, facilitating problem solving. The second point here is related to interviewing skills, listening skills, asking questions, monitoring, and so on. The third point is related to training clients in relaxation, and lastly improving clients' self-talk and self-perceptions, terminating helping. The chapter 2 deals with the general skills of a counselor, whereas the unit 3 deals with the specific counseling skills. The last unit deals with models of counseling skill. In that the first point deals with nature and importance of counseling skills and working alliance. The second point is related to Rogers' model of counseling skills, Karkhoff's model of counseling skills, IPR model of counseling training. The third point deals with Indian models of counseling, the role of detachment and self-surrender, and lastly, modern trends in counseling. Friends, these are the 4 units that we would be studying in this particular semester. The whole idea here is that all the students who would be passing out with a degree of MA Psychology, they all must be well versed with the counseling skills. Now, if some of you would have gone through the previous syllabus of Savitri-Bai Phule Pune University, we had counseling as one of the specialization at MA level. But in the new choice-based credit system, right now we have just 2 specializations, that is clinical and industrial, but the paper on counseling skill is equally divided for all the students of psychology, realizing the importance of counseling and also to enhance the skills of the students of MA Psychology with regards to counseling. This step has been taken. These are few books that we have to use for references for this particular paper. Most of the books are based on clinical and counseling skills, on individual counseling, on group counseling, brief counseling, counseling and psychotherapy, introduction to counseling and guidance, and counseling a comprehensive profession. Then there are few other books on basic counseling skills, the practitioner's handbook, a guide for counselors, psychotherapists and counseling psychologists, the counseling process, counseling and guidance, counseling skills for managers, counseling, theory, skills and practice. As a student of PG class, you have to make it a practice to refer various reference books and then prepare your own self-made notes. Also, before I end with this, I would like to discuss few important links that each one of you must visit. We all are aware of unipune.ac.in, that is the website of Savitri-Bai Phule Pune University. You must make it a practice to visit this website regularly because all the information regarding the syllabus, the exams and many other announcements are continuously given on this particular website. Then also we must visit the website of KTHM College. The website is kthmcollege.ac.in. You all must have used the next website for our admission process, that is mvperp.org. After that we have 2 important websites that I am discussing here, that is kthmelearning.in, wherein we will be providing you all the learning material related to our classes. Most of the videos related to our lectures will be uploaded on this particular website. It is very student friendly. Moreover, it can be accessed on mobile phones with Android applications, on iPhones, on desktops and laptops as well. After this, you all are also aware about the YouTube channel. Most of you must have subscribed to KTHM e-learning channel on YouTube. Once you go to the KTHM e-learning channel on YouTube, you can watch different playlists of different subjects over there, out of which you can go through the videos of psychology department under the playlist of psychology. So friends, here we have gone through the syllabus of the core paper Counseling, Process and Skills. In the next lecture, we would be studying the definitions of counseling. Thanks a lot for your patient listening.